Yeah, that's fine. I'll pass that to Rishi.
Rishi? Where's Rishi going? Thank you very much for having me here, guys. I really appreciate it. Oh, look at the numbers here. This is a huge number to come here.
So this is a
on
live
school day as well. Thank you
from
very much
Punjab.
for taking the time out to be here. To be with you today, this is an absolute honor for me to see all these faces here. Hopefully, craving for a bit of knowledge that hopefully I can dish out to you guys. And you'll go from here today feeling that you've got something out of me today that I can hopefully inspire, motivate, and then through a crowdsource you can inspire and motivate other people too.
So, ladies and gentlemen, आज साडी कोशिश होगी for the first time ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ translation करूँगे मेरी कोशिश है so जे कोई गलती हुई तो please माफ करना. So Kris, what we're going to do is we're going to start by asking you some questions. I'm going to start you off and I'm going to try and translate as long as you don't use any big words.
Yeah. Well, I don't know any big words, but if I do go on a little bit, you're going to have to stop me, huh?
So Kris, tell us how you entered into this industry in the first place.
Okay, well, I'm from Wales, and I was born there. I won't tell you how many years ago, but it's a long time ago. And I grew up on a farm in Wales, and you know, I used to like adventure, you know, go out and do my own thing. And I was very much an individual person. I didn't really hang around with people. I didn't interact with people that much. And I participated in a sport called motocross, and I raced motocross for, God, it was over 10 years, probably 13 years there. And I used to race everywhere, every weekend, and I'd be practicing during the week, and that was my life. I absolutely loved it. I wanted an adrenaline fix, and I needed that adrenaline fix. And I like the competition, being competitive with myself. Further from that, I had a few injuries, spent a little bit of time with you know, various injuries, but more so a back problem. I had lordosis of my back, and that eventuated to me retiring from motocross and getting into the party scene, enjoying quite a few drinks on the weekend, and putting on a lot of weight. And I kind of succumbed to some depression because of that as well. I was depressed because I felt overweight. I suffered from bad asthma during that time, and I was going to try to alleviate this pain momentarily by drinking a lot. The back pain got so bad. Are you translating this, or can I carry on? Oh, right. Oh, you've heard my life story, you'll be fine.
So, Kris, ਇਹ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਕਿ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੇਲਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਮੋਟੋਕ੍ਰੋਸ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਸੀ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ. So, Kris ਨੂੰ ਸੱਟ ਲੱਗੀ ਸੀ, ਇੰਜਰੀ ਸੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ Kris ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਵੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਕਲੱਬਸ ਵੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਦਾਰੂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਫੀਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਰੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਦਾਗ ਸੀ, ਜੋ ਪੇਨ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ. So, Kris, what
Very
happened?
special thanks.
Well, I started seeing some various therapists like chiropractors, osteopaths, massage therapists for the back pain that I was experiencing because it was getting so bad that it was really affecting my life. And it wasn't until I actually started to do rehab with weight training to strengthen the spine or the muscles around the spine till I felt relieved of that pain momentarily, and then it was basically permanently, provided I continued to go to the gym and strengthen the muscles around the back. And then obviously with that, I felt better about myself. Having no pain, I felt happier. I started to lose weight because I was training, and now I was, you know, taking care of the food that I was eating. And I wasn't dealing so much with the asthma because I was dealing with a lot of asthma as I was gaining weight. So I become addicted to weights then. I wanted to pursue this further because I felt like a completely different human being. I felt more confident, I felt happier, I had more energy, I was a better person to be around, that's for sure. So then I decided I want to study this. So I went to college for 3 years full time to study and become an international health and sports therapist. And further from that, I decided with these qualifications, I'm going to go overseas. So I worked on cruise liners for about 8 months before then moving to Australia as a personal trainer, as a mobile personal trainer. I was very successful. I used to just focus on 12 and 18-week transformations, and with those images of the before and after pictures from my clients, I was really able to get a huge influx of demand, which allowed me to purchase my own fitness centre 3 years later, which was in 2003. During that time in that fitness centre, I thought, I want to start reaching out to more people than the one-on-ones and the people within my gym. So I started writing articles. I taught myself, I edited. I had no idea how to do photography, but I knew I wanted to reach out to more people. So I taught myself how to write. I remember buying the book Merriam-Webster's book of grammatical writing and journalism. And I taught myself how to write, and I learned photography as well, so I could sell the images along with the articles that I was submitting to the magazines.
So, ਜਦੋਂ medical assistance ਲਈ ਸੀ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ ਨੇ, ਜਦੋਂ osteopath, physiotherapist ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ back ਦੀ pain ਸੀ, ਉਹਦਾ ਅਸਲੀ ਇਲਾਜ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ back ਨੂੰ strengthen ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ ਨੂੰ realize ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਵਾਕਈ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਫਰਕ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਪੀਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਨਹੀਂ pain ਨੂੰ relieve ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਬਟ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਝਸਕਾ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਜਿਮ ਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨੂੰ feel good feeling ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਈ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ this is fantastic, ਜਿਮ ਜਾਣ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਾਫੀ ਫਰਕ ਪੈਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਿਆ। ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣਾ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ ਨੇ ਐਜੂਕੇਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਸ ਫੀਲਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇਸ ਹੱਦ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੀ ਖੁਦ ਦੀ ਜਿਮ ਵੀ ਲੈ ਲਈ ਤੇ ਓਵਰਸੀਜ਼ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਟ੍ਰੇਨ ਵੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ।
Okay, so I started writing articles for various magazines. They weren't getting published to begin with, but you know, if you go and have an audition for a movie and you're first on acting, you're probably going to get turned away a lot of times too. So I was expecting that. So for 6 months I was just relentless. I kept writing article after article after article and submitting them to various magazines and then repeating that process every week. So until about 6 months later, I got opportunities within a couple of magazines in Europe and in Australia as well, until Flex magazine and Muscle and Fitness magazine in the US, so this was the international version of the publication, gave me a contract. So I had a contract as a writer and as a photographer, so I moved to LA and I continued going down that process as a writer and photographer. And during this whole time, I'm competing as a natural bodybuilder now. I started competing about a year and a half after I started weight training. I decided I just needed some form of transparency that I could get up on stage like this, so that gave me the sense of urgency and gave me structure. I had no room to falter by doing that. That kept me on track. Every time that I got ready for a show, every time I went through a transformation, I felt I was able to better pursue myself further in different various entities of my career. When I was in LA after about 2 years, I didn't really like the content that was being published of my articles. It was edited a little bit too much. The images were a little bit fake with the fake weight and the fake sweat and all that sort of stuff. Even though I absolutely love these magazines, I just didn't feel it was me. You know, I still read those magazines to this day. I love them and I love a lot of the writers behind them. But it just didn't feel like me at that time. So I started publishing my own magazine called Cage Muscle while I was in LA. I did that for 2 years. And during that time, I got noticed by Ryan DeLuca, which was then a CEO of bodybuilding.com, and he flew me up to Boise, Idaho, and offered me the position as the editor-in-chief of bodybuilding.com, which was fantastic. Didn't really get on with LA anyway. It was a little bit too fast for me. So I moved to Boise, Idaho, and at the end of 2007, and I became the editor-in-chief of bodybuilding.com, the content on bodybuilding.com. So we were publishing about 40 pieces per week, videos doing this, out and competed. So Ryan actually, encouraged me to get in front of the camera. I was very uncomfortable with this, but he kind of forced me into that position. Reluctantly I did it, but now in hindsight, I'm absolutely happy and ecstatic that he did, because I probably wouldn't be stood in front of you guys today had I not. So then I started shooting video series. We did the original 12-week video trainer, then the hardcore video trainer, then the Dorian Yates video trainer, then the muscle building trainer, and the 4 weeks to shred. And I've got other various videos up there as well, which amassed to be the most watched transformation of video series online. Like the hardcore trainer amassed over 100 million, which is absolutely phenomenal. I can't comprehend it. And then I started writing the books during this time, because I started writing beforehand for the publications, and I thought, wouldn't it be great if we did a book? And Ryan had this idea, you know, because we had all these amazing transformations on body space, how could we actually get them into real life? What was their tipping point from A to B? Sorry, I forgot Jared has to translate all this, so I'll stop there.
I was just going to say, I'd like to actually move on to the supplements section. So we're going to open up Swal opportunity, but Kris, there's lots of myths when we talk about supplements. Yeah. So people say, what are the side effects of supplements? What's a good supplement to have? Should I have whey protein? Should I have a mass gainer? Fat burners? Do you have to train if you're taking supplements? What's your overview on supplements?
Okay, I was obviously talking too much about myself. You stopped me short there. Good hint in front of everyone. With supplements, yeah, supplements is crazy. Since I came here in 2011, I've done a lot of interviews for a lot of magazines, newspapers, TVs, whatever, and it surprises me, but still to this day, only yesterday when we did a press conference, I still get asked about supplements and steroids in the same sentence, same question, which is crazy to me, absurd, because steroids are obviously bad for you, they're synthetic, it's alien to the body. Supplements are a natural derivative, and they're supposed to enhance your health. They're healthy for the body. Supplements are just that though. They supplement 100% precision of your diet, 100% precision of your training. You can't take supplements and expect to change miraculously. It's not going to happen. Supplements supplement your diet. It's the icing on the cake. Without no cake, there will be no icing. So when it comes to supplementation, it's naturally derived and it's healthy for you, providing that you get it from a proper certified provider. You know, you're not just getting it off the street. So to give you an example, protein powder, all protein powder is the protein extracted from a milk without the lactose and without the fat, without the sugar and without the fat. That's all it is. That's all it is. So when people say, hey, is it going to make your hair fall out? Is it going to make your skin bad? Is it going to make me put on a lot of muscle? Well, no. It's just like drinking milk, but without the fat and without the sugar. Maybe a little bit of flavouring to it. That's all it is. And it's the same when you go, you know, if you think about it, one of the reasons why I do advocate supplementation, especially when you're training, you do utilise a lot of vitamins and minerals. You expire them. It's the same, you build up a lot of free radical damage. That's why it's essential due to the increase in population. So the vitamins and minerals that was once in the soil is no longer there. So you have to supplement with like a multivitamin. Don't worry, the multivitamin is going to be safe for you. What your body doesn't utilize, it will pee out. It's a water-soluble vitamin. And because you take a supplement, maybe you take a protein powder, multivitamin, or whatever it is, you're not going to miraculously change. You have to work with these things. Just because you get into a Formula One, a racing car, doesn't mean you're going to go around like Lewis Hamilton. You have to practice your sport. You have to practice what you preach in order for it to work. It can't work for you, you have to make it work.
Supplements ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਨੈਚੁਰਲੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖਾਣੇ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਫੂਡ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਕੰਟੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੋ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਜ਼ਮਾਨੇ 'ਚ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਕਈ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਇਸਤੇਮਾਲ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਫਾਰਮਿੰਗ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ ਕਿ ਫਰਟੀਲਾਈਜ਼ਰਸ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਸੋ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਖਾਣਿਆਂ 'ਚੋਂ ਘਾਟ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਉਹ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟਸ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਬਟ ਸਹੀ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਖਾਣੇ ਇਹ ਜਾਣਨਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਕੱਲੇ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਐਕਸਰਸਾਈਜ਼ ਵੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਜੋ ਪਲਾਨ ਹੈ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਾਂਗੇ So Kris, tell us about we've got the supplements. What about the training?
Training. Now you have to use training, don't abuse it. In India, again, it happens around the world, especially with beginners, but I notice more so in India. People think more is better. They'll often ask me, how many hours a day do you train? I don't train hours per day, I train hours per week. And that's what I recommend as well. It's all about quality, not quantity. If you go into a gym, you should train as hard as you can, provided that you know what you're doing with the correct form, and you're you've been educated, or you're educating yourself on what you should be doing, how to train. Shouldn't be any longer than an hour. If you could train a lot more than an hour, believe me, you're not training hard enough. It's all about the quality of the time spent into the gym, not the quantity. It's all about making the repetitions count and not counting the reps. When I talk about frequency, maybe 2 or 3 times during the week, and then you take a day off. So you could train Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, take Thursday off. And then you can train again, maybe Friday and Saturday, take Sunday off. 2 days on, 1 day off. Or 3 days on, 1 day off. You need to go in there and train as hard as you possibly can, but you do not grow muscles in the gym, you actually lose them. You're breaking down muscle tissue. That's why you're sore the next day, because you have scar tissue inside. Much like you get scarred on the outside, it takes time to heal. And you only got to heal that through proper, adequate supplementation and nutrition and rest and recovery and sleep. So you go in there, you do your work, you lose your muscle, but then you come out to regrow your muscle. You only go into the gym to assimilate and become the catalyst of muscle regrowth. The only way the body can adapt to the stress that you place it upon is by growing. So you have to take your muscles out of its natural environment and allow it, give it a purpose to grow. When it comes to nutrition and supplementation and rest, again, this is only going to back up your training if everything is 100%. You can't expect to go and train 5 times, 6 times a week and then eat whatever you want. It's not going to work. You can't expect to have a healthier diet and not train and expect good results. A lot of women, for instance, will go in, and work out, but they'll mainly just do cardio. They should be doing weights as well. You women really need to be doing weights just as the guys. Don't worry, you're not going to get big and bulky. You don't have the testosterone for that. But you will get a shapely figure, you'll get shapely shoulders, you'll have a more toned physique, but more than anything, you're going to feel better for it. Women have a higher risk of osteoarthritis. You're going to build better bone density. You're going to have better lubrication to your joints. So by all means, you should be weight training. I have my mother weight training because she has bad knees. I started her training a couple of years ago. Her knees are much better now because you think about an oil to an engine, synovial fluid is the same to the joints. And the only way that you promote that synovial fluid to the joints is through movement. Okay? So when you're thinking about weight training, do not think about it as just for vanity purposes. It's for health purposes and it's for therapeutic purposes. It makes you feel good. It gets that feel-good endorphin rush. You know how some people feel good after they've eaten food? Good food, sugars or chocolate or candy. You feel good, but then you have to deal with repercussions and side effects. When you work out, you feel good, but you have a better looking physique and you feel better for it.
जिस तरह Kris कहता है कि जिम ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਮ ਦੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਉਹ ਇੰਟੈਂਸ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ 2 3 4 ਘੰਟੇ ਜਿਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾਉਣੇ 1 ਘੰਟਾ ਜਿਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾਓ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਘੰਟੇ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਸੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰਲੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਸਟਰਕਚਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ 7 ਦਿਨ ਜਿਮ 'ਚ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ 2 ਦਿਨ ਲਾਓ 1 ਦਿਨ ਆਫ ਕਰੋ ਬਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਇਟ ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਬੀ ਚੈਨਲਡ Kris, most Indians use an excuse, say that, it's because of our diet, we can't change it. You lived in India for 3 years, right? Mm-hmm. So, how did you overcome the problems that people have with Indian diets? Did you have Indian diets when you were doing the last program?
The only thing that I really ate was mainly the roti or the chicken tikka, but pretty much from that when I ordered the food, I made sure that there was no oil, no ghee, no butter or anything like that. But in all honesty, I'm quite a boring and bland eater. I eat the same here in India as I do in any other part of the world. I couldn't get it through my head when people from India would say, hey, we can't transform. We've only got Indian food. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? I eat fish here, I eat chicken here, I eat rice, I eat oats, I eat potatoes. Why is it any different? But then I understood after a while that they're talking about the Indianized foods, you know, with the spices, with the oils, with the ghees, the butters, or whatever. So I decided, okay, we're going to have to kind of compromise here, as you would in any relationship, I guess. So I decided to write a book then, called Bollywood Modified Design. So I worked a lot with my celebrity chefs, and my celebrity client chefs, in order to get some Indianized foods, but how we can make it healthier, like we had with the clients, without the oil, without the butters, just having a clean form of carbohydrates, a clean healthy forms of unsaturated fats, having a lean forms of proteins for vegetarians and non-vegetarians. So within Bollywood by Design, I decided to have meal plans specifically based on people's religion, dependent on the region that they lived in the country, depending on your vegetarian or non-veg. So everybody could have the taste of Indianized food without the excess. You'll never see those out. Your protein sources, obviously it's going to be like your poultry, it's going to be, you know, like your chicken, like your fish, your egg whites, and your whey protein. If you're a vegetarian, then you look at the egg whites, if you do eat egg whites, you'd have soy, you'd have tofu, you could have lentils, and again you'd have whey protein. Carbohydrates, potatoes, rice, brown rice if possible, or white rice, oats, there's plenty, and whole wheat protein. And with your fats, you're probably looking at nuts, omega oils, fish, coconut oil, your MCTs, and mixing those together in every single meal. So I would say, unless protein was actually in one of those meals, it's not a meal, okay? It has to be in every single one of those meals, and mixed with those carbohydrates, and mixed with those protein sources. I know a lot of people think that they shouldn't eat carbohydrates, but you should. With every meal, you just swap the sources. Towards the end of the day, for the last 3 or 4 hours before you go to bed, then you cut out those complex carbohydrates for fibrous carbs, i.e. your broccoli, your cauliflower, your asparagus, your spinach, your bok choy. Leafy greens are really good because you need the fibre, but it will not give you the excess calories that complex carbohydrates will, specifically towards the end of the night.
So,
thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment and subscribe if you want more videos like this.